I'm Paul Spencer. I'm Chief Driver Training from Learn Our Way Driver Training School. So we're based in Liverpool, and this is our classroom driver training knowledge session. So we're just going to help you guys to help yourselves when you're going on any sort of tests. And we do these types of lessons. We do many more of these types of courses. So if you do want to book on some courses, please look at the link and give us a call, 0151 281 6463. And look us up, Learn Our Way Driver Training, based in Liverpool. So we will help you with your knowledge. It doesn't matter what part of the country, you can actually book on some of the other courses that we've got. We can do some online courses too. Okay, so we're going to cover use of mirrors. It's one of my favourite questions I love to ask people. So, how often should you check your mirrors? Now let's see what answer you got. And we've done like a list of about 12 items there. So I'm going to pause the video and I want you to write down how often you should check your mirrors. So get your pen and paper out or your pad and write down the answer. Okay, so you've probably got quite a big list, okay, of when you check your mirrors. If you've got a timed answer, like every 5 seconds or 3 seconds or 10 seconds or all the time, you can never put a time limit on use of mirrors. Never put a time limit. Something can happen within a second or within 5 seconds, 25 seconds. So we can't do that. Okay, so Learn Our Way, myself, have come up with a system for how often we should check mirrors. And we can do it similar to what you do with your hazard perception type tests. So our answer is every time you see a hazard or a reason to check your mirrors. So if you use our system, we've got something called alert, inform and instruct. So answer 1, we've got name the hazard. So when you're driving, you can do a little task you can start, and I'll show you how to do it in a minute. But first of all, you might see a pedestrian close to the edge of the road. So you check your mirrors. What action do you take? Well, you might change position, or you might slow down if you can't change position. We see a pedestrian safe for now, but they're on the curb, but they may be 2 foot away from the edge of the curb, but you'll still need to do something about them. Or are they all the way on the curb? If they're on the curb more than a good metre, and you're going to be a metre from the curb, you've got your 2 metres. So if they're safe on the curb, check the mirrors, and we do nothing, but we keep a check on them because they're away and they're safely away from the edge of the curb. We might see a bike or a cyclist forcing us to cross the centre line. So we check our mirrors, and then we will either slow down to give them space, or actually if it's safe, we'll just move straight around them. So when you're driving, a little task for you to do, so when you're driving, start trying to name hazards. And think how many, so if you now made a note of different hazards you come across. So hazards could include a bend, that's a hazard, it's going to make you slow down or change position. A bus, a car, so somebody parked up, could be someone walking with a dog close to the edge of the curb. Is that dog on the lead? It's less likely to run into the road, but if it's not, could run into the road if it sees a cat or something. So if you can name hazards as you drive, name the hazard, check your mirrors, and then decide what to do about it. So we're always looking ahead first of all. But when you say these things, you don't want to say there's a guy and he's got his dog and it's on the lead. That's about 7 or 8 words. Just say dog, check mirrors. Bend, check mirrors. Change the speed, check mirrors, because I'm going to change speed up or down. Okay, so we named things. Okay, if you on your answers you put check mirrors every time you change gear, well, we can have another discussion about that at a later date if you want to, because usually you've sped up and then you change gear. So you might check the mirrors before you speed up, but not when you sped up and you're doing the 30 miles an hour and then you change to 4th, because you're not changing speed at that point. So why check your mirrors just before you change gear? But again, we can discuss that at a different point. There will be some issues that you might find with what you're being told by a different instructor and what we will teach you. But we are the experts on this. We know what the tests are about. We've sat in on many tests where other driving instructors have never probably sat in on a test before. And so their knowledge really of the test environments is quite poor really. There are some good trainers out there who do sit in on tests when they can. We can only sit in on tests usually cars and trailers and minibuses. At the moment with the COVID-19 in place, then when nobody's allowed to sit in while you're on test. So name one thing rather than guy with a dog, so you can just say pedestrian, bike. So make a list like there. Pedestrian, first one, check mirrors. Change position if you need to. Bike, check mirrors, slow down. See if you can make a list like this chart here. Pause the video, make a chart like it. Don't do it right now, but you can do it and do it this later.